We see a cyber town at the start of the film where many people's missing reports have been registered. Later, we see Chang, a young boy who is watching a company's advertisement. We see some people chasing him. They were aware that Chang had previously served in the army. Chang gets a call from a doctor later. The doctor informs him that his daughter must be treated within 24 hours. We won't be able to save her life otherwise. Chang now requires funds for his daughter's treatment. Chang now visits a company called CreditBit, which promises to provide interest-free loans. Chang is first questioned when he arrives. First and foremost, his loan amount is being investigated. Later they inquire about him and an agreement is also signed by him, in which it was written that if he loses his life in an incident, they can use his body in their research mission. Chang signs the agreement and we see the it of many other people. As Chang was about to leave, a man from his robotic machine injects something into his neck. Meanwhile, Chang is surrounded by black suit men, who he fights. The black suit men who are still chasing him. Chang fights them. Chang was going to leave at that point. Strange changes begin to appear throughout his body, and he drops out. Chang was injected afterwards, and something was injected into his body. Chang later finds himself in a snowy forest when he wakes up. Later, we meet some more people who have no idea how they got here. Chang notices a black cloth in the midst of it all. Chang bravely sets aside his cloth, that conceals a number of weapons beneath it. When these weapons are seen, everyone becomes terrified. Because no one knows what to do with these weapons, they each take one. They later discover a bracelet on their wrist. The time was indicated in that bracelet as being 12 hours. Nobody knows what is going to happen to them there. Meanwhile, one of them was eliminated. When they turned around, they saw the black suit men in masks following them. They are now fleeing after viewing them. They were also being pursued by the black suit men. Chang now comes across them and begins ending them one by one. Chang fights them, and one of their group's members collapses, which the black suit man was about to grab. Later, another girl from their group named Anna. She ends the man with her arrow and saves the girl. They all together encounter the black suit men. Meanwhile, one of their group members is eliminated by a man in a black suit. Chang undergoes a strange change later on. The similar thing was happening to the other people there. Their fighting sense improve with time, and they eventually end the black suit people. They later flee, and the black suited people do not pursue them. They stop at a location where they had no idea what was going on. They later find a way to exit. In the meantime, a strange creature appears in front of them at a fast speed. Their countdown begins later, and the beast murders one of their men. They begin to flee when a creature appears in front of them. The creature attacks Anna, but she remains unharmed. The creature ends another man there. In the meantime, Chang assists Anna, and the two of them hide from the creature. Later, the creature failed to notice them. Chang was about to take the creature to a safe distance. Meanwhile, the group's glasses-wearing member collapses. Chang was behind him, and after distracting him, he brought him behind him. He starts running and later stands silently at a location. Later, the beast failed to notice him once more. Meanwhile, a member of their group was fleeing. While running, he takes deep breaths, and the beasts, feeling his voice, rush in front of him. The creature stands in front of him. When he sees the creature, his conditions becomes worse. The other people get terrified as well, and the creature ends the man with one blow. Later, Chang approaches the others and asks that everyone depart quietly. Later, everyone emerges and begins looking for a safe place. We see the creature was still chasing them. Meanwhile, they come across a building site and all enter. The fat man wearing glasses, his trouser got stuck a pipe. They were discovered by the creature who was chasing them. Chang, on the other hand, tears the fat man's pant. He also protects himself from the creature's attack. Anna attacks with her arrow, but the creature is unable to enter due to the pipes. The creature now begins to climb on the pipe. Cheng asks everyone to depart the area after seeing this. The glasses-wearing overweight man falls down while running. They were exhausted and sat down for a rest. They were all perplexed, thinking whether the creature that had attacked them was a monster or something else entirely. Cheng, on the other hand, claims that it might be created by a genetic mutation. Anna claims that we have no idea how we all have arrived here. The fat man with glasses says I went to a place called Credit Bit, after that, I came straight here. Later another member of their group tells them that he experiences the same thing. Anna later recalls seeing a tattoo on the necks of black suit men. She shows everyone the tattoo she drew. They notice that this is a logo for the Infinix brand after watching it. Meanwhile, we can see that this company has kept them all together. Only a few devices have been linked to their bodies. We learn here that the people trapped in the jungle, their bodies aren't with them. Their bodies have arrived, and the company's CEO has arrived to inquire about their health. Her team members tells that Anna's flexibility has been increased. Cheng is unique among them all since he passed out after a long period of time. Along with her muscles, his brain functions have also increased. The CEO becomes overjoyed after hearing this. On the other hand, they were finding the exit way. But they can't find their route, and they all get fatigued and sit down. They introduce themselves while sitting there. They each give a brief introduction to themselves before moving on. The company's CEO has been keeping a close eye on them. The CEO instructs her team to begin the second test immediately. The 6-hour countdown has begun, and everyone is on high alert as they watch. Where they were present, the building began to break. Later, they were all stuck in one location, which caused the entire area to break. The building was suddenly collapsing, and everyone was trying to save one another. Cheng starts saving a girl from one of his group's members. The young lady keeps her foot in the hand of a fellow member of the group. As a result, the man collapses, and the girl declares that she has not willingly done this. Meanwhile, the building continues to shake more violently, and the girl collapses. There are now only 3 survivors. Cheng notices here that this place shakes after every 5 seconds. Cheng asks the glasses-wearing fat man if we can jump from one area to another. After some calculations, he concludes that going from one side to the other is impossible. Cheng tells the glasses man, "We have to take this chance." The man explains that you can leap at a 35-degree angle. Cheng takes a chance and lands on the floor after jumping. Anna and the glasses man become pretty pleased as they watch this. Cheng tosses a wire at them and comes the floor. The glasses-wearing man was feeling nervous about jumping. Cheng inspires him by telling him that he can accomplish it, that you can do this. Meanwhile, the wire was strung with a clip that breaks. The man with glasses was about to fall, but Cheng holds him. And Anna has kept Cheng from behind, but she too has kept him with the support of her feet. It was getting harder to hold the glasses man. The man was suddenly feeling something. He has brain hemorrhage. He couldn't bear their injections anymore. The CEO of the company asks to inject him more. The man asked Cheng to let me go, saying, "If you don't let go of my hand, we'll all lose our lives." Cheng is desperate to save that man, and he has been working hard to do so. His hand suddenly slips and he falls. This entire place was about to break apart after a while. When Anna instructs Cheng to flee on the other side, the police become aware of the Credit Bit place. They discovered a single that had vanished after joining the Infinix company. As a result, police suspected the company of being responsible for the disappearances of the people. This company wants to invent a new technology. It is possible that the CEO has disappeared the people for her research project. We see the CEO in the company who asks to prepare for the next test. She sends her 2 people to Cheng and Anna. Cheng wraps cloth around Anna's foot, which has grown severely injured. Cheng afterwards starts looking for his box, which Anna has taken. Cheng tells her that this box was given to him by her daughter. He informs me that my daughter suffers from a genetic lung disease. Anna grows emotional after listening to this. Cheng claims that I will go to any length to save my daughter. They continue after that, and the countdown begins again. With 2 hours remaining, they see many black suit men approaching them. They come across a building and both hide behind a pillar. As the black suit men approach them, both of them attack them. Cheng holds one man and holds a knife to his throat. He wants to know who they are and why they want to murder us. Meanwhile, the 2 persons who were sent by the CEO arrive. One of the boys informs Cheng about 2 people that come to them. That you've made it to the last round. Cheng couldn't understand anything. Meanwhile, the girl suggests that if you want to know why you were brought here, you must end all of us. Cheng's body mysteriously disappears when he murders the black suit men. Cheng and Anna are perplexed as they see this. Cheng uses his sens to end each man one by one. Anna, on the other hand, was battling with the girl who had been sent by CEO. Even though the girl was dominated by Anna, she continued to battle her. The girl makes her injured. Cheng has assassinated all of the black-suited men in the area. Meanwhile, their situation is deteriorating. On the other hand, one of the CEO's assistants advises her that they should stop the experiment because their condition is deteriorating. Because the CEO was not ready to agree with him, she directed that the experiment be continued. Meanwhile, the countdown on their wrist comes to an end. Watching this, the CEO becomes happy because both of them have crossed all the rounds. Now, she has found the perfect gene for her mission. That's why she calls them back whom she has sent. Later, CEO comes to them. She congratulates them on completing the genetic research, but it was actually the CEO's 3D picture. She claims that if I locate the perfect DNA, I will be able to save thousands of lives. Cheng claims that your experiment has resulted in the deaths of many innocent people. Anna attacks him, enraged. Meanwhile, her condition begins to deteriorate. Cheng is to end Anna, according to the CEO, and I promise that after that you can meet your daughter after that. She claims that if you obey my commands, I will save your daughter. She then grants Cheng 1 minute of her time. Cheng, Anna says, murder me and save your daughter. Cheng later realizes that the reality therein isn't genuine. He jumps by taking Anna. Later, they again becomes alive in the real world. Cheng and Anna are later released from there. Meanwhile, the CEO's staff arrives. From there, they both start running. We observe that the police have also arrived. They are now again surrounded by CEO employees. CEOs offer Cheng once more that she'll cure her daughter. Cheng abruptly changes his mind and agrees to follow the CEO. Cheng abruptly snatches their gun, and the company's CEO begins to flee. Meanwhile, the police arrive, and Cheng and Anna are taken into custody. The company's CEO has been arrested, we've been told. She was conducting unlawful experiments, and now the government has taken control of her company. After 6 months, we visit Cyber City, where Cheng's daughter can be seen. She has